Welcome to Soundbreaker. I'm your host, Bob Shammy, and we're about to break the silence. Join me as we go behind the scenes and meet some of the most influential names in the music industry. Get ready for remarkable success stories that break the norms and defy the odds. From dreams to success, from challenges to victory. An exclusive backstage pass into the lives of music trailblazers as they create their own path to success. This is Soundbreaker. Welcome to Soundbreaker. In today's episode, we're talking to Zaid Khoury, who is a groundbreaker in the music and entertainment industry. Zaid, thank you for joining us. For our listeners who might not be familiar with you, can you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Bob. It's a pleasure. My name is Zaid Khoury. I'm the co-founder and COO of SoulArtists. So SoulArtists is a talent booking platform, so an artist booking platform where clients can come into the app or the website, discover artists in their city, and hire them for their events.
Fantastic. That's definitely a great one. We're going to definitely dig into it later on in the interview.
All right.
Tell us, how did you get you first started in the music entertainment industry? How did you start it?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's definitely a weird way to get into this. This business actually got me into this, music or entertainment space, right? So we kickstarted this business in 2017. This is when, we were thrown into the deep end of entertainment and, the whole event scene. So this is when actually things started to kick off for us, and this is when I actually started, talking to artists, to musicians, and actually get a foothold of the scene. So 2017 is when we started.
Well, let me ask you, would this being got you started or interested in that or attracted to that field of work, music and entertainment, is something that you were passionate about when you were at your earlier days, when you were younger, you were a kid? And is it something with the parents, or what influenced you to take that path, to go that direction in life, to pursue the entertainment and music industry?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not something that I was pursuing, right? I'm a big fan of music. I love live entertainment shows, but I was never really, looking to get into this. But, sometimes things happen in a way where you just end up being there and you just, you love it so much and then you're just part of it. So, it wasn't really anybody that kind of influenced me into this, but, we just got there in a way where the business pushed us to that direction. And I think the more we talk, I think you'll see how we got there eventually and how we ended up in this space.
Interesting.
Yeah. Different.
So yes, definitely. Well, that's what the show is about, Soundbreakers.
Yeah.
And for people who really never had the actual influence or anybody to guide them or to give them the path or the key to it, they kind of just built their own path to get involved in this industry that we're in, the music industry. You mentioned that you spend time abroad in the UK and New York. You went to school there, if I'm not mistaken, business school. Did you always knew that you wanted to create a business in the entertainment industry? Is that why you decided to study, business, and you went to business school in the UK and New York or the US?
So funny story. Actually, I was studying property valuation, something completely far away from music and entertainment. So I did that for a year. And then after that, I said, this is definitely not for me. I'm just like walking in, between houses and evaluating them. It's definitely something not for me. But, I always had a sense of, like business. I always thought I'd have something of my own, something where I can, have people work with me, work with other people. So, I ended up changing my career path, or like my educational path, to study business. And it's something I'm super passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
And it never really was about entertainment or musician or the scene at all. It was more of business, more of technology. This is what I was interested in, and this is what I pushed forward to. So that was a shift in education, I guess. But it worked out for the best, I guess.
So you went to school in the UK. What about the US when you came to New York?
So
Also went to
no,
school?
yes,
Oh,
no, it wasn't in New York actually. So I studied in the UK in Bristol actually for a few years, and then after
uh-huh.
that I went back to Jordan, which is where I'm
Yeah.
from.
Uh-huh.
So continued my work, my studying over there. So the university I was in, it was an American university. So that's how it ended up.
Oh, great. I see.
Yeah,
I see. Well, amazing.
yeah,
uh, now, from my understanding, that you and your brother, I'm not sure, younger or
yeah,
twin brother or older brother, you
yeah.
combined your
Older.
passion, and you guys combined your passion and skill to establish Soul Artist. Can you tell us a
Yeah,
bit more how this whole thing came together, creating this venture between you and your brother? Just the idea, like
yeah.
how was it formed? Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, look, this is the story that I think is gonna kind of justify everything that we just talked about. So
yeah.
I was working in sales, so I came to Dubai maybe, you know, 8 years ago or 9 years ago, something like that. My brother was already here. He's older than me.
What were
So
you
he was
selling?
working yeah, I
You
was an
said,
investment actually. Yeah, I was an investment advisor at the time here.
oh,
So yeah,
okay.
something completely different. So,
It's
I was
okay.
working,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, this is the mindset of an entrepreneur.
you
Always.
know you do
Yes.
everything, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
I was in sales, he was in banking. So my
Uh-huh.
brother Suhail, he is the he's a multidisciplined artist. He's been doing that, he's been an artist for over a decade now, right? So he does close-up magic, he does, he does a flow artist. So nothing really in terms of the musician side, but he was in the entertainment scene. He
Oh,
was doing gigs. And
wow. So
one day
he's a
we were just
performer.
sitting around. He's a
Yeah.
performer, exactly. So
Yeah.
one day we were just hanging out, and we were just tired of the 9 to 5 grind, and he was telling me, look, I just want to finish with this banking stuff and just focus on performing. So I said, yeah, great, go ahead, what's stopping you? So he gathered all his his press kit, all his material, he put it on a CV or a resume, saved it as a PDF, started sending it out to all the event companies, all the entertainment companies, the talent agencies.
Yeah.
1 week passed, 1 month passed, nothing. It was just lost in a sea of PDFs of other performers, battling it out for gigs, right? The time passed, and at night, one day in the middle of the night, I get a phone call from him, and he's like, "Look, I've tried to push my portfolio out to these companies. I'm not getting any, job interviews or like gig opportunities." And he's like, "Look, how about we create our own system where clients can come in,
Mm-hmm.
discover any artist they want, any musician they're looking for, and they'll book them directly." So I said, great, I'll do my own research, see if something like this exists where we are, at least in the region, right? So
Yes.
I did my research, I came back, and I didn't find anything really. I mean, there's the typical talent agency where you see a list of some performers, some musicians, DJs, etc. You see that list, but in the end, you have to deal with the agent. You got to call them, email them, etc. So there was no really a kind of a tech
Yes.
platform where artists can upload their content, their SoundCloud, their Mixcloud, their YouTube videos, photos, and put their rates up. So nothing like that really existed. So we built we scrapped whatever money we had at the time. I think it was like, $4,000 or something. That was like all the savings we had between us. And we just
Uh-huh.
hired some developer to build, the first prototype. And I gotta say, Bob, it was terrible. The first one.
So if I may say something, the idea
Yeah,
was born out of a problem and a solution for the problem,
absolutely.
which most
Absolutely.
successful ideas really out of, a need for something. There was a problem, there was something missing. Okay, which is,
Exactly.
yeah. Interesting.
Exactly. So yeah, so we scrapped whatever cash we had. We built a
Uh,
prototype,
uh.
and the rest is history. So
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 you guys build
now
it yourself, or are you developers, or you had to hire a team
no,
or
so
a
we
local, just friends?
no, we had to outsource it in the beginning.
Uh-huh.
We had to find some guy that is willing to build something. We had a huge vision for it, in the
Yes.
beginning, but we didn't have obviously the resources, the cash to support this. So
Yeah.
we hired somebody to kind of build the prototype. And then, we had it in our hands.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. And well, so to my understanding, you were featured in entrepreneur.com. I was going to say Entrepreneur Magazine, but entrepreneur.com, and which is, very impressive accomplishment, regarding the success of SoulArtists. Can you tell us a bit more about the mission of the company? Like what's the structure and the mission, of SoulArtists?
So I mean, for us, it's a simple mission. For us, we want to create the world's artist platform, right? So we want to make it easy for people to discover and hire entertainers and musicians in your city. Simple as that. We want to make the process as frictionless as possible, make it easy for everybody to come in, find who they want and book them on the spot.
Now, is this free to use? Is it free? Is there a fee that the artist has to put in, or a membership?
Free. Oh. No, it's absolutely free. Anybody can sign in. Obviously there's a quality assurance in that. Yeah. So I mean, you won't find that guitarist that plays in his bedroom on there, right? So all the quality of artists are people that are performed in the X Factor or The Voice or America's Got Talent, stuff like that. So you have high caliber artists, super talented artists. They have the content and they do perform.
So how who does the filtering? Who does the curation of such pick? Like, okay, this artist we need to have, or this will fit the criteria of our and the mission of our platform and vision. Like, who does that? Is there a certain questionnaire, or you do it yourself, or?
Yeah, so the way it works is the artist comes in, performer comes in, musician comes in. Yeah. They go to the website or the app, they register their profile, submit all their information, videos, music links, photos, whatever it may be, experience, awards that they've got. So that comes to us, and then we have a process in place where we actually go through it, review it, etc. But back to your question, we've been featured in multiple publications. I think it was a few years ago, we've been nominated for top 100 startups in the Arab world by Forbes a couple of years ago. So yeah, we're on the right path, definitely, trying to make artists' lives easier.
Now, Zaid, is this platform available worldwide?
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody can come in. Yeah.
And when you say artists and performers, so obviously it includes everybody. You mentioned your brother was a performer, a magician, and he'd done other things. So it includes anybody in the entertainment industry, whether you're a singer, you're a band, part of a band, or you're a musician. I mean, I'm not going to explain about you. You tell us.
Yes. What type of So it's everything related to live entertainment. So musicians, instrumentalists, singers, violinists, guitarists, percussionists, and then you have the comedians, presenters, flow artists, circus artists. So anything that is a live performance is there.
Wow.
So absolutely, it's free and it's available worldwide.
Wow. Is it fair to ask how many artists joined your platform since started, like available, or how many performers, or slash?
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, look, we our launchpad was Dubai. We operate mostly in the MENA region and the GCC at the time being. So at the moment, we're looking at around 5,000 approved artists that are on there.
Very nice.
And, the majority, but, the biggest category is obviously musicians. You got musicians, you have DJs after that. These are the biggest categories that people look for. But we cater for everything in terms of live entertainment.
Got it. So I'm not an artist. I just want to, for the hell of it, I go in and say, hey, I want to. So I have to go to an approval process. What are you saying?
Exactly. So if you just... Let's just say you play the harmonica in your bathroom, right, Bob, and you want to register, you won't get approved, right? So this is the way.
I like that. that. Eliminate certain things and keep the professionals in it. Is this the only platform of it? Yeah. Is that the only platform, I would say, worldwide of its kind?
So no. So there are systems like this in the US, in the UK. So the problem is, for example, in the UK, I'd say they just have musicians. They don't focus on other live entertainment. So and it's limited that they don't operate on a global scale. Both of them, especially in the US and in the UK. So the US companies, they just operate in the US. The UK, they just operate in the UK, and they're limited to musicians. For us, we can operate worldwide. The system is built in a way where it accepts currencies, has taxes built inside. So it works independently everywhere. So that's the differentiator.
Great. You recently launched an integration with AI. You had an AI integration to help performers to become more successful. Can you tell us a bit more? About how this whole idea came together with integration, and how does it benefit the artist and make them more successful?
Yeah, it's a good question. We're still rolling this out. It's in the process of rolling this out, but this is the first time, or it's the first system of its kind where AI is going to be rolled out to the talent, talent agencies, and the entertainment space, at least in this capacity. So few things, the first one is, natural language processing, right? So let's just say, Bob, you have a corporate event happening tomorrow. Or you have a Gatsby themed event, right? So you go into the app or the website, you say, I have a Gatsby themed event happening tomorrow. What kind of entertainment do you recommend? So the system will ping, the AI will ping the system and will give you recommendations. And it'll say, for example, a swing band, very, very Gatsby-like vibes. And what it does, it actually does the availability check of the musicians on the spot and gives you the rates. So as you, Bob, you come in, you open you put in your request, directly you're able to see this swing band is available. This is the price, and they're ready to go. So that's one aspect of it. The second is that you're able to get the best rates, right? Because this request goes out to all the swing bands in Texas, for example. And they're all bidding on this gig, right? They all want to get this gig. They're all trying to give you the best price so you can pick them and book them. So this is on the client side. But when we look on the artist side, it's giving them a AI powered press kit. So there's really talented artists. They have a ton of content in terms of photos, videos, images. But let's just say they have the biography, or their biography is not so good. So it gives them the tools to kind of improve their biography and give recommendations on how to improve their digital presence and how their press kit looks online. So this is one. Second thing is imagine having an AI artist manager. So you have these typical questions. Let's just say you're speaking to a client. I'm a band. I have a specific tech rider, right? So these clients, they come in, okay, so what is your tech rider? So rather than actually sending that tech rider, the system is already understanding what's going on. It's pushing that tech rider to the client. All is done. So you have to just sit back and get that right. So, and just one last point, I think for artists, which is really cool, is that, for gigs and for bookings and gigs, the price of an artist or a musician varies from time to time. So a price of a singer on New Year's Eve is way higher than what it is today, for example, or on Christmas it's going to be more expensive, right? So so what the AI does, because we have so much data and analytics already in the system, because we have so much codes going through it, we know the market trends. How much does it really cost, and what is the standard market rate? So that gives the artist, recommended
rate. That brings me to, who sets the pricing for such a thing? You guys set it up, or the artists themselves set the pricing?
Absolutely, the artists themselves. So each event is different. They code for it. So, but because we have so much data, that we're able to recommend the market standard for the artist to code on. So, which is really cool, because, it gives them a higher chance of getting booked and getting gigs,
Can the user or the consumer on the other side, beside the artist, the one who wants to use the services, when they come into your platform, can they negotiate with the artist, or it's a set price, whatever the price is set, or the recommendation that you guys give, or the AI integration helps with that, that's the price?
Yeah, so no, it's completely up to the artist, right? So so the artist codes for it. They can edit their code at any time. And the most important thing is that we're giving the artist the ability to communicate with the client directly. So they're discussing their event details, they're discussing their requirements, and they're editing, and modifying their code based on that discussion.
And everything is done through your platform. Everything is done through the platform. And you guys get a
100%.
fee, correct? You guys get a fee out of that, a percentage.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
So,
great.
We're breaking down the barriers of communication between the artist and the client. Why would, now if I wanted to ask you, can you go book a DJ, for a private party tomorrow? I'm sure you have a ton of DJs that you know of, but in general, right, a normal person, how would he go about that? He'd just go to probably Instagram, Google, he's going to look them up. It's going to be, a process.
And you never
of
know who you're
going to
come across, a legitimate person, not legitimate, all of that. And the payment processing all go through your platform also.
Absolutely. I mean, that the payment goes through the system. It's held in escrow until the booking is complete, and then it's paid out. So, the client is rest assured, I'm secured. My money's with this business, so
that's it. Yes.
That's about it. Yeah.
So that brings me a very attractive system and really interesting. How long it took you from the beta to the main platform, and how did you attract investors to such an idea? Most investors really, they invest in more hard assets like real estate or certain companies, different than the entertainment. Entertainment is really not so tangible. It's more of the idea and the performance of it. Yeah. And the vision. Yeah.
Yeah, correct. I mean, look, for us, when we started this and we've actually built a solid foundation, we have, a solid platform that actually works. And we did our market research, in terms of the market size, you're looking at like a couple of years ago, it was like 250 billion of annual turnover yearly, right? So in the region that we are in, it's around 5 billion turnover. So you have a huge market size. Second thing is the system, and what's actually attractive to investors, that it's super lean and super scalable, right? So I can take this business and, operate it in Italy or Spain, and I'm going to have really low OPEX, really low CAPEX. If it was a traditional agency, it's going to take a lot, right? You still got to onboard the artists. You got to set up shop. You got to have artist managers. You have booking managers. It's a lot of work, and it's a lot of overhead. For us, it's super easy. It's actually, just like flick the switch and you're good to go. You just throw a marketing budget behind it, and, people love it, and they do appreciate the transparency of it. So scalable, lean, super low, operational expenses. And
what
that's
was your
biggest
hurdle of expense or hurdle of gathering the money? Like, oh my God, we need this much money for servers or for space or for employees or developers. Like, what's your biggest expense in this business?
Yeah, the biggest initial expense, and it's still an ongoing expense, is development, right? Because you have to be at the forefront. Because the more the system, works better, the more the less overhead you need. So the system is carrying so much weight that you don't even need talent bookers anymore. You don't need an artist manager. So I think that's on the fixed kind of running cost thing. And the second is just marketing, to actually let people know that there is a better way to book entertainment. There's a better way to book artists. There's a better way for artists to get gigs and musicians to get off, job opportunities. So that's the two biggest things.
Such a platform in the Middle East, which is really right now, the Middle East is in the forefront of entertainment. Absolutely, it is, especially in the Gulf. How was it perceived in the beginning? Like, was it something hard? Like if we started here, is it something that different than if we started in Europe? We started in North America.
Yeah, I mean, a lot. Once we started and we really launched that out, I'll just give you an example. Like the landscape here before we came in.
Yeah.
You'd go to let's just say you want to book a musician, right? So you go to these talent agents or local talent agents websites. You see, for example,
in Dubai.
French.
We're talking about Dubai, correct?
Yeah, I'm talking about Dubai. So you'd see like French singer, or Arabic singer, or English singer. You don't know who the singer is, right? You just see a picture. You don't know who it is. You don't have a biography on it. It's just like very vague, and there's no transparency in terms of price. So once we started, we were happy to kind of showcase their names, their profiles. This is what they do, this biography. And you can really see, and it put a lot of people off by saying, how could you yeah, how could you, show their names? This is our bread and butter, we know these people, they shouldn't know it. Once the client comes in, we'll recommend options. So a lot of people were put off, and that's when we knew that we were actually disrupting, the space. Like people got upset, like literally they're just calling us, how could you do this? So that really
the Uber of entertainment business.
And yes, absolutely. And now we're at a stage where the competition actually goes to our service, to find these people. So
from
obviously
everywhere.
indirectly, but we know, right? So they're coming to us, they're filtering out, they're checking availabilities, and slowly they're becoming our clients. So our competition is becoming.
Would you say also some of the managers of artists from Lebanon or from Egypt or other region, or in the Middle East, that they actually using your service to put their artists in, to make them available and visible for booking and performances?
Absolutely. But I mean, look, we started off in the UAE. This is where we have the majority of everybody. But now you have artists from absolutely everywhere. You have artists in the US, the UK, Qatar, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia. So it's there is no there is no other outlet as strong as this, where people can, nobody about the amount of talented musicians and artists in this region is absolutely astounding, but nobody actually knows them, right? So
love the
at
name,
least on the booking
SoulArtist.
side.
Yes, I love the name. Who came up with the idea? You or your brother, the name?
I think it was a mutual thing. We thought a lot about it, but in the end, we said, let's just get it rolling. So
very incredible, interesting journey. The music industry known for its challenges and setbacks. Can you share a difficult moment where you faced? I guess you and your brother, or because your partners, you built this whole thing in your career, and how did you overcome it?
I mean, I think that the biggest setback we've had throughout this journey was COVID, right? I have to say, I'm sure everybody got through it, but the live entertainment space was actually the most that was hit. There were no events. I mean, you remember, right? There was no events.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
There's no events at all. So, we're bleeding money right now. The whole industry is dying. We see a lot of local talent agencies, entertainment agencies, they're just either downscaling their staff, shutting down, But for us, we saw, like, in the end, this thing is going to go away. There's no way this is going to stay, right? So while everybody was actually shutting down or downscaling, we were actually gaining momentum at that time. Because artists wanted an outlet. They started registering. They understood that there has to be a better way, for them to get discovered. So they started looking online. They started to see what's happening. What are people doing? So while everybody was down, we were like, our supply of artists were just through the roof, and not just here in the UAE, but everywhere around the world, right? So you have people coming in. You have people like in Jamaica, man. There's like people, coming in from Africa, from Morocco, from Tunisia. They're just like, there is no outlet, there's no space to showcase this, and that was the hurdle that we saw that okay, this is actually working and people are wanting to get on. So, but COVID was the biggest one, toughest one.
Yes, turning the negative to positive. This is for our listeners, the sound breakers. Learn, please.
100%.
Yes. Zaid, I mean, this is really incredible, my friend. Very, very incredible. What's the I would say kind of a common misconception about the business that we in, the music industry? If you can share, a lot of people have misconceptions about certain things in the industry.
100%. I mean, especially in this space, I think on the client side, I think the misconception is that it's all just so glamorous, and it's just like the show, they just see the last part of it. But in reality, it's a lot of hard work, many years of dedication. These musicians are just working, hundreds of hours, for example. These artists are practicing behind the scenes hundreds of hours just to deliver a half an hour set, for example. So I think this is what customers, they don't appreciate. And, once they hear the rate, for example, of a musician that's charging, $4,000 or $5,000 for just like a quick event, They're like, whoa, but they don't understand the dedication that was put into that. So I think this is a huge misconception, and people don't really appreciate, the effort that these artists are putting in. So
well said. I like what you said. Well, definitely well said. A lot of people have misconceptions. You don't know how long it took to get to that point or to create that. Absolutely. They think creativity is really something just happens overnight. No.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely. I agree. Yes, you have to work a lot on it. Absolutely. Just a quick question. I love what you're doing. Is there anything in the upcoming days, weeks, year, what's on the horizon for SoulArtists? What do you guys have? Any new integration, anything that's coming up to kind of enhance it, to make it more available, or to make it better, or to add features that kind of mind-blowing? Is it something you could talk about on camera, live, or not yet?
I mean, look, all I can say is that, AI is going to, the integration of AI is going to be a huge push. I don't think people really see it at this point, but once it gets more abundant and more people are starting to use these systems, we're already seeing it, right? In terms of in the audio section generated by AI, the videos that are coming out, the photos. Yeah. But nobody's really seen it on this space. So I think this is going to be a huge thing. And the second thing is what we're currently building in the pipeline is an API where, other event planners, other wedding planners, talent agencies can plug in SoulArtists into their website to have this system available for them. So it's going to be so easy for them to kind of check availabilities, get rates, get secured bookings faster. And it's going to give them an edge over everybody else, and that's what's coming.
Great. So AI going to be a big influence on your platform.
Absolutely.
Great. Collaboration, as we all know, is a big key element in our business, in our music industry world. Can you share a memorable collaboration or a story that someone you've worked with that left an impact or an impression on you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, I'm thinking about this. It's a tough one, right? But I think from what I can say, Look, for me, it's just a collection of working with all the artists from multiple disciplines.
Yes.
Right? Sorry, I have a cat passed by.
No, don't worry about it. Yeah. It's all right.
So
it's always great. Love animals.
So just a collaboration with all the artists, multiple disciplines. You have the musicians, the DJs, and just working with them on so many different levels and so many different types of events really gives you a perspective on the kind of work that you need to be pushing, because they're pushing quality, you have to be pushing quality, and it's just raising the bar every time. So I think this is where the most collaboration happens, and it happens on a daily basis. We have thousands of artists getting pushed out, if tens of events happening per day, artists getting dispatched, so you work with them constantly and you always learn. So
yes, good insight. Zaid, how do you stay updated to the latest trends and what's happening out there in innovation? And how important it is, for you to continue to learn.
Yeah, I mean, look, for us, like I mentioned, there are similar businesses like this in the US and the UK. We look at them, we see what they're pushing, what kind of tech they're pushing, what kind of services work for them, what doesn't. So we look at that and we take what works, what's the best of both. And I think the second thing would be, actually working with the artists, getting the feedback from them, seeing what's trending, what's happening, what's going on, seeing, especially on the world stage, right? What's being pushed in huge events, these mega events that are happening, like the expo that's happening, the upcoming now World Cup that's going to happen. What are the things that are getting pushed over there? And the last part is the most important one is just keeping our ear to the ground. You got to stay in it to know what's going on. Like really,
you got to stay in it to win it. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Many of our listeners, I'm sure they have dreams and, ambition like yourself. And, they seeking to break through all the noise to succeed, as the music industry is kind of, there's something very popular in a negative way, the gatekeeping. Everything is gatekept. Nobody wants to share. A lot of people don't want to help. Others to this what they know their how they manage to get to that level. So how do you what's your strategies and advice to the individual who wants to navigate through these challenges, so they can make their own path in this business?
Look, I mean, I can only speak from my experience in the end.
Yes,
what I'd recommend.
Yes.
What I'd recommend really is once you found that niche, that you want to pursue, or once you found that idea that you want to push forward, I think the most important thing is just to, you have to be resilient. You have to be persistent. So persistence is the key, right? You're gonna get a ton of no's. Take it step by step. Fine, you got a goal, you got an idea. Take the first step. You're going to get 100 no's. But once you get that one yes, your life is going to change. So take it step by step and be persistent. That's all that matters, right? Because if you're really dedicated for that idea, you just got to push it forward. So
for our listeners, this is really very helpful. Is there anything you'd like to share before we wrap it up, or to mention, or to advertise, or to plug in regarding SoulArtists? Anything that's so people? Yes, please. Go to town. Go to town, my friend.
Look, I mean, I just have to say this, right? There is a better way to get discovered and to get gigs. This is what matters for a musician, a working musician or a working artist. They need gigs. They live on gigs, right? And having an outlet to do that is the best way possible, especially if it's transparent, it's secure, and it's making your life easier. So I'm saying to all the artists out there, come and register, set up your profiles. It's absolutely free, and you're just going to get notifications, if you're in the right area for operating there, and hope we're growing every day. So once you're there, you just get a notification for an upcoming gig, you code it, and you never know, you could get your next gig. And that's about it. We're looking to push forward, and that's it.
So SoulArtists is the way, is the path for every performer and artist out there.
Yes,
that's the place. SoulArtists. It flows easy on your tongue. Really easy. SoulArtists. That's it.
Excellent.
Can SoulArtists be used for booking, I'd say, concerts, or not really, or big gigs, like large gigs, or mostly private events, or for everything?
No, absolutely everything. So most of some artists that we had, for example, got booked as, for example, the backup vocalist in mega events. Like backup singers. They've got backing tracks for a specific AAA artist. So they're getting booked for studio sessions, restaurants, hotels. They're getting booked for absolutely everything. So you have these clients that are hotels, restaurants, event planners, wedding planners, these mega event government kind of events.
Well, I noticed you also companies you have, because when I went to your platform, it also has a lot of big corporate names, from Dior to Google to, know. So that also the enterprise kind of, like corporate events also?
Absolutely. So, for example, they come in, they're launching a new, for example, Dior or these luxury brands. They want to launch, for example, a new perfume or a new luxury item. They want to accompany that with a musician, or a live entertainment with the launch. So where are they going to go? They have to come to us, put in their request, and they get a ton of options, and they get hired. So a ton of companies working with us, government entities, private events. It's from your kid's birthday party to large scale events and mega events. It just caters to everybody.
Well, let's say I'm a big artist. I'm going to be performing in a certain country, and I'm like, I don't know anybody there. Who are we going to call? We need backup dancers, backup vocalists. We need, certain people beside the main people that travel with me all the time. Can that be found through your platform also?
Yeah, 100%. That's exactly, where it is, right? Because the AAA artist flying to another country, he's already got that gig locked down, So it's all about what's around him, the entertainment that's going on around him, the backup singer, the vocalist, the instrumentalists, the DJs, it's all available. So
amazing. So in our next time when I'm in overseas in Saudi Arabia or Dubai or Qatar or Bahrain, when I see a big performance happening, I'm going to know a lot of these people book through SoulArtists. We'll see a big, huge banner there.
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay, my friend. Well, definitely enjoy talking to you. Really, a lot of great insights. Thank you for joining us today. And to conclude this issue, or excuse me. This concludes today's episode on Soundbreaker. Please make sure to follow us on social media and stay tuned for our next episode. Thank you, and thanks a lot, Zaid. Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it.
Take care.
Thanks, bro.
This podcast is presented by Music Dash, world's first AI-powered independent distribution CMS. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to share the Soundbreaker podcast. And if you are joining us on YouTube, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Until next time.